Spoke with his team and said, men, we've got to match their work ethic tonight.
And they've got a couple of opportunities coming down the stretch to get into the tournament on a high note. Big East, that is.
Meeting number 133 between St. John's and Villanova, the all-time series at 66.
John Fanta right now. The Cats go a lot of ball reversal, dribble, handoff. Nice cut and dive with the open middle. Is that pretty? Wiltshire getting an opportunity early, huh?
From Zuby Ejiofor.
Talented kid. This is the end I love Zuby at. His ability to move the legs, play all 5 positions.
Here's Jordan Longino. The Cats coming off an 80-68 win over Xavier. Poplar was big time in that win. Wooga Poplar with 23 points on Sunday. Dixon had 24. And Tyler Perkins with 20. Here's R.J. Lewis.
The mid-range game, they are so efficient in that particular area. And ringing the bell's essential so they can get their pressure set up.
Here is Dixon, the country's leading scorer. He's in a tangle and a jump ball. It stays with the Cats.
The ability to lift and find some people. Nice little curl at the end of this. Little discard. Everybody stays at home. Pretty efficient.
John Gaffney, Paul Snell, Greg Evans are officials.
Perkins loves to keep the dribble alive once he gets in the lane, so you got to stay at home on the next logical recipient. Pretty drive.
Aaron Scott charged with the foul on the Poplar drive.
Well, he can really pursue the rim, can he? Strong, good finisher.
How about the fact, Raph, Wooga Poplar did not start playing organized team basketball until he was 16 years of age.
It's incredible, really. The leaps and bounds he has made at Miami as well.
When did you start playing organized team basketball?
Biddy League, I would say. So that would be like 8, maybe 7 or 8. Yeah. We didn't have any toys in our house, so I had to play something.
2 of 2 for him at the stripe.
Little pressure, little counter pressure, which the Cats will do. Pass up and then return.
How about Kadari Richmond on this winning streak, finding Lewis, who's off on the 3, and it's another thing they do is rebound.
That's unbelievable. They chase with the best of them.
Aaron Scott, he can't hit, but Ejiofor was getting held.
Absolutely underneath. Watching, he's almost in position to snare that rebound. But if it goes up, you better locate and stick the opponent.
Top 15 in the country in rebounding, close to 42 per game.
Get that little hook in the lane to edge, a very unselfish kick for a wide open look. How about that?
And what happens if this team can make some threes?
Oh, they'll blow teams out when they're able to knock those deep shots down.
Just 29% from distance on the year. But Rick Pitino says we got to keep shooting it.
Automatic switching here. Tough shot under duress. Nation's #1. Loves to pump and side saddle.
Scott tries again. He's long, and this time Buwachi rebounded it, but he traveled.
Yep. That's what you have to do, though. I like that little net that they formed in that lane with the white shirts. Just right here, little dribble drive, and Ejiofor very unselfish, and right away gets himself in position to offensive rebound. There's a knack and a lot of habits developed under Rick. Here's the guy that can get going. Lewis having a great year.
Kadari Richmond tries and connects, and there's that mid-range.
So much better, and the rotation, we both watched it today. They've been working on it. He's starting to get a better feel and stroke.
That is what's so tough about this St. John's team, as Poplar, he's got a mid-range game too.
And a great curl and presentation by him. He's the big guy.
Scott, without any hesitation, is confident.
And Dixon really stayed in. And part of their philosophy, I think, is to stay within that line. See, coach them into taking those deep threes.
Rick Pitino said when a Scott or a Wiltshire misses their first shot or second shot, sometimes they get down on themselves. He's telling them, guys, keep shooting the ball. We'll rebound it.
No, he's very positive in his approach at that end of the floor. And he has changed miraculously from being the advocate of the three-point shot, particularly in his Kentucky days.
With 8 on the shot clock. That's a tough shot for Poplar. Dixon's there on the glass. Eric Dixon.
He's so strong and broad across the shoulders, can carve out so much area.
He only had 2 points at halftime Sunday. He had 20 points in an 8-minute stretch in that game.
He can get him quickly. They need his numbers. A nice drag for 2. And that's that cross-court pass. They get an open look again.
Lewis. Rebound to edge of 4. Edge of 4 can't connect. It's a battle, and Brickus comes down with it.
Smart here. Little fan dribble.
Brickus goes to Kawashi.
That's what he loves to do. Get in that lane. If you turn your head, he'll find somebody. It's that LaSalle breeding that brings out that talent.
Is that what it is?
That's what I'm told. Grant Dunphy did a great job there.
Legend of many legends in the Big Five.
That he is.
Richmond with 12.
A nice show.
Edge of 4. Dixon corrals.
A nice job with 1 and done so far.
Here is Brickus. He tries. And Lewis has it. First meeting between these two teams was close down the stretch. St. John's then pulled away. Lewis had 30 in that win. Wiltshire hits.
Pretty. Lewis again, the dribble. You got to keep them out of the lane. Nice find on the wing. This kid's got some big upside.
So they're already at around their average in Big East games. They've made 3 threes in the first 5 minutes.
And good looks, too. Wide open.
Now Dixon.
This is where you got to stay at home on the help.
With 10, he's swarmed. Somebody's open, Longino. Cash.
He makes that. There's so many valuable things he contributes. Great defender, good middle game, great length.
And finally healthy.
A career ridden with nicks here and there. Nice.
Aaron Scott. Can't get the bounce. You got a foul on edge of 4, taking us to a timeout.
I talked about Edger before. Does a great job on the defensive end, but how about this little curl? Wooga able to knock that baby down. Little dump off Brickus with a great feel. Nice dive and finish. Villanova hanging top.
Big East basketball is sponsored by Jeep. There's only one. Back at the Finn. Fun start. St. John's and Villanova evened up at 13. And in their first meeting at Madison Square Garden back on January the 11th, the Wildcats were in a position to steal one on the road. Wooga Poplar was great, but R.J. Lewis was just that much better.
He got to the foul line a few times, as you know.
Sure did.
Yesterday and today, the preparation by Kyle to spread them out a little bit, use ball screens. It's really been efficient. It's taken away a lot of the St. John's defensive rotations early here.
To your point on the free throws, this is notable. St. John's got to the free throw line 39 times. Lewis 20 times. He made 16. It was the most free throw attempts an opponent of Villanova's has gotten since 2013. That Jay Wright guy.
Are you suggesting it's unfair? Or
no, not at all.
Questioning the officials?
Just a colleague of yours was so good at
Well, the big thing with St. John's is they're so aggressive. When do you call fouls? Is it maybe they're more frequently on occasion, and that's why the disparity, and Kyle was upset about it, because he knows they are really relentless and aggressive. And you've just got to compete at that level. And right away they get this full court press now, inbounding to Key, going through the wall on the catch. And perfect trap there if they want it. They got it. Oh, they didn't turn him. This is where Scott, look at the relentless pursuit. This is great now. They're being patient. Didn't have a good early look, which they were trying.
Here's Poplar attacking, and he is special.
It's wide open because Dixon can drag a big away from the rim.
When Dixon was silent on Sunday in the first half, Poplar was driving the bus for Villanova.
You might say he was more Poplar that day.
Well done. Scott connects.
How about that? Started hot.
4-3.
Continues. Not bad. 28% coming in this year.
North Texas transfer with a breakout start.
But it contains so well. So does that show, recover? Nothing easy. You got to really time your cuts, be efficient.
Down to 6. Poplar again. What an attack by Wooga.
He's a great driver, this kid. He can rock you to sleep and then blow by.
Did it for Jim Larinaga at Miami, now doing it here. Entry to edge of 4. Zuby, edge of 4. Lost it. Picked up by Poplar. Poplar thought about it.
Well, he had Dixon at the rim. Of course, that wouldn't happen years ago. And Jack him on that deep.
Brick is from downtown.
Not giving up easy baskets, so real good balance by Villanova. Love this kid in the lane. He is magnificent.
Kadari Richmond short on the J and into the hands of Poplar.
And that was no rotation. That was the old shot. Rick never admonishes for shots. Do you ever notice?
No.
It's just keep working on the defensive end. That'll work its way out.
You have to love that as a player. I know I would if you're not admonishing me for taking a shot. Can't defend them. Longino hits.
Big time kiss, the quick timeout. Very efficient and comfortable on the offensive end, Villanova.
Poplar.
You mentioned Larinaga. He brought a few smiles to the coach's face. The little blow by again. No traffic in the lane. No caution light. Poplar. Big time maneuver at the rim.
It's just something I've never witnessed in all my years of coaching. We are so non-athletic, just lack toughness. It's been a disappointing year. I don't think they're going to pick it up in the next week. It's been the most unenjoyable experience I've had.
He can tweak with the best of them, can't he?
Yes.
He just knows how to get the attention of players. And right now, there's difficulty on the defensive end because of the spread offense. They got to contain the dribble, or they're going to have monster issues, and he won't be smiling if they don't do that.
How about their highest ranking in 25 years at number 9 in the country?
It's incredible. Brings back the old shades of Luigi on the sideline, huh? When they had it going.
Well, this 21-3 start is their best through 24 games since '85.
When you play them, you better suit up and be ready to compete. I mean, that's the big thing. On the road, I don't know if the press will be as influential, so they're going to have to get back to some basics on the half court.
Bill, it's interesting because Villanova, they've been in the top 5 in three-point shooting all season. They've only made 1 3, but they've been on the attack.
Very much so with the bounce. Again, that open area. Nice little staggered double.
That gets Wilshire a look. And he hits. They've got 5 threes.
I like this kid. I mean, you watch him in practice, he is a talent. Becoming more efficient with that stroke.
Was on his way to North Carolina. Then Rick Pitino gets St. John's, and it's, you know what? I'll head to New York City. Stay close to home.
Jersey kid, right? Roselle Catholic. Little nickel dimer there by Wilshire. Little double flare screen on the top right here. That is really a pretty design play. And the stroke to boot. Little nylon. Jersey boy.
And a 5 of 11 start from 3 for St. John's.
He likes to come back to that shoulder. Nice
She's
pass. Oh, you got to
open.
grab that. I know big guys have trouble getting vision on the bat. Nice pump.
Perkins had a big game Sunday.
He sure did.
With 2, it's Dixon. Cash.
Nice find by Perkins. Didn't force the issue.
With just 3 on the shot clock, no less.
You got to be patient and make them work on that end, unless you get something really good early. Empty side now. Nice pass.
And Ejiofor turned it over. Poplar was waiting for him.
I'd like to see him go right up with that Ejiofor.
Villanova's 5 for their last 6. Longino goes to the right.
Nice extra look to Poplar.
Poplar is on fire. He's got 13 points.
And Dixon really shown some quality leadership too. Applauding, he's a little emotional. The leader of the pack, not only ringing a bell.
Look, this Villanova team took down a then top 10 UConn team in this building. They've shown some flashes.
Yeah, they're dangerous, no question about it. Looking for consistency within the game as well. This guy's got to get going. Nice show.
With 8, it's Lewis. Finding Richmond. Richmond pull up. Automatic.
Pretty. 15 feet in, book it.
How about the pass there from Lewis, too?
Through pretty good through traffic, right?
Traffic.
They're working on this practice yesterday and today.
Dixon again. Battle for the board, it's Wiltshire. Richmond surveying to Wiltshire.
Does a nice job backing this guy in with a little bully ball. Richmond.
Here's Lewis. Backdoor to Aaron Scott.
And a foul. I think they might get Perkins underneath.
You're correct.
They've been really tough on the offensive end, Villanova, finding people, making good judgments. How about the length and stretch of 43? A long way to run and cover. There's they're making them pay for that rotation. Late on the cover and a tray.
Back to Aaron Scott, who's hit 3 threes already. He's got 10 points. That's St. John's first free throw of the game.
You didn't do that game, did you? With all the free throws against Villanova?
No.
You're a busy man, that's why I asked.
Oh, well, thank you. So are you. Mobility's not my biggest strength.
Well, you know, any coach that sees that differential in numbers is not very happy about it.
Yeah.
Nice hands there collectively by Perkins. Malachi, too, as well.
Belongs to the Cats. You think about it, Raph. Tonight, you get St. John's, then you're off to Providence. Next week, Connecticut and Marquette. This is the window for Villanova. If they're going to salvage something, Longino, he hits.
And right over Iwu Chuwu. Am I saying that right? Been working on that USC.
Also goes by Big Vince.
That'll be a lot easier. Prey on the floor, really an interesting prospect, I think. To make a jumper.
8 on the timer for Kadari Richmond with 6. They brought a double. Corner 3 for Prey.
Good look.
And Perkins and Scott to the hardwood. Who's it belong to?
They're staying here.
Yes, they are. St. John's ball. Jaden Glover's going to check in, the freshman.
Rick's not afraid to go to the bench. If he doesn't like what he sees out there, give other guys opportunities to do some damage.
Well, you know it, Raph. You got number 9 next to your name. You're 21-3. You've won 10 in a row. You're going to get everybody's best shot from here.
Absolutely. You mentioned Glover on the floor. Pretty good numbers in high school. Not if offensive foul on the dive by Scott. That's number 2. Really didn't. Just circle the guy. Don't run over him.
It is on Glover.
Oh, they did it. Okay.
So just his first. Scott stays out of the trouble. John Gaffney with the whistle, and for Villanova, they only scored 68 points in the first meeting with St. John's. We got 8 minutes to go in the first half.
They got a lot of clean looks, surprising in a way, knowing the efficiency of this defense of St. John's.
Number 2 in the country.
Good shot, and one.
There's the second on Scott. 2 fouls for Aaron Scott.
Longino doing a little Kadari work, huh? Getting that lane, using his size and length. You get an opportunity, little dribble drive, pull up, square up, nylon, Villanova tough.
How about a second Super Bowl championship for the Philadelphia Eagles? Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator, got a standing
He doesn't know the words, though. He just knows how to win, right?
He's in the house of the big parade Friday here. Villanova up by 5 on St. John's. Let's go in Kyle Neptune's huddle.
All right, they made those, 4 or 5 plays. Other than that, defense has been unbelievable. All right, those are on me.
Drowned out by the Fly Eagles Fly, right? That is amazing how this city is alive, what a championship does, right?
It's amazing. They know about that here with what happened in 16 and 18, but Kyle just talked about the defensive effort thus far by his team.
No question, they're solid in all their approaches, and you really haven't seen St. John's get as intense as you're accustomed to yet. But you got to score and rev it up. They got to get their defense set.
Well, here's the thing about St. John's, because you look, it hasn't been a particularly good start for them defensively, but they've been down double figures 5 times this year. In all 5 of those games, they've ended up winning.
Well, they don't go away. You know that. I mean, it's just a relentless pursuit. Go deep on the bench. He's not afraid to jack guys in if they're not competing. And this is the end here. Defensively, that they've had some difficulties early because their structure is such that it's always held conscious of assisting, and they've eliminated with a lot of dribble drives and nobody's really covering.
Rick Pitino's team atop the Big East. How about in the league last night? Liam McNeely with 38 and 10 for UConn in a win at Creighton.
Wow. So much for that high ankle sprain, huh? A little stale the first game back, having watched it, but boy, he is ready to go. The way he cuts, of course, I think Alex sets the tone for their ability to cut. Always active, screening, slipping. Making deep shots, though. He gets that stroke down. He will have a very bright future.
Absolutely. A statement road win for UConn to get to 9-4. Marquette at 10-4. Creighton at 11-3. And now St. John's at 12-1. And the Wildcats have their largest lead thus far.
A little counter D on Gino on Richmond. Big, really, to contain that guy. He sets the flow of the offense. Nice hands. Again, hands.
Poplar is relentless. Wooga Poplar shut down by Prey.
How about that? That kid did not give up on that play. Sensational effort. They get the ball, too.
That was St. John's to a T this year.
Yeah, Prey put the ball over his head, which is sort of telegraphing on the offensive end. But making up for it on this end.
You said earlier to me you think Prey's got a real chance.
Just from practice game, he doesn't get the minutes.
Look at the effort by Villanova. Another turnover.
And no bad shots to speak of. A couple of deep ones, but nothing out of the system. He's tough. Oops. Loves that right shoulder.
Poplar kicks. Brickus, another extra pass. Dixon. That was the bad shot.
I thought catch and shoot. Didn't have to put it on the floor.
Lewis, baseline.
Good challenge
by Dixon.
Again, they don't have any. Use some clock. Run their offense.
It's been Poplar and Longino. They've combined for 22 of the 29 for this Villanova team.
And St. John's hasn't exhibited its personality yet.
8 on the timer. Here is Poplar. He's been feeling it. That is a tough shot.
Wow. tough match, too, for the big guy. They got numbers 5-on-4 without Dixon.
Sure do. Lewis glides in, might have taken an extra step. It's back to Villanova.
They're hustling on the glass. And John's is taking a couple of questionable shots in the lane. Not relocating to get an outlet look.
Only one made field goal in the paint the entire game. And now Wilcher's back in. He has been solid for them when he's been in the game.
But no post-up game on either team. It's all any lane touches with the bounce.
Villanova getting to 7-6 in the conference over the weekend. Top 5 in the Big East, get that first round bye. They'd like to stay in that top 5.
Nice footwork defensively.
Perkins. Connects.
Talk about him in his days at Penn.
This place has life.
Yeah, it does. They can get after it. They're accustomed to winning here.
Got the trophies to prove it. Lewis, way off. A fight for it. Prey corralling.
Doing a great job, isn't he? Competing.
Clocks at 4. Richmond, does he realize it?
No.
The Finn has picked up life.
And he was looking right at it. I thought he recognized. Again, make them be patient on the offensive end, too. They want to get going, rev it up a little bit. But right here, straight on, excellent coordination on the defensive end.
5 turnovers in the last 4 minutes by St. John's. Out of sorts right now after getting
previous
that
plays being under review for
top 10 ranking.
We're going to check and see if it's a shot clock violation.
It should have reset or not. Let's see.
They're checking to see if it hit the rim there.
Oh,
quite possibly.
Well, there it did. You see that last deflection went off the front of the rim. So if that's the case, that's a reset.
The arrow.
Yep.
So they would get it back.
It would be St. John's ball.
Yeah.
Take one more look here at the last sequence.
Yep, I think you're right.
Veteran officiating crew, John Gaffney, Paul Sell, Craig Evans, taking a look at it.
These guys work as hard as you do.
Wow, that's, again, very humbling of you to say. I was with Tom Crean last night. He says hello.
Speaking of great coaches, right, what he did there, beating Kentucky for the right to go to the Final Four, just amazing. A kid by the name of Wade wasn't a bad player, as I recall.
One more look here at the ball with 10 seconds there on the timer. It does hit it, and then that would be a 20-second reset, as you said. The arrows with the red storm.
The ball did hit the rim. It'll be St. John's ball. Opposite.
St. John's basketball.
Yeah, the fans didn't understand the arrow rule.
So, after all that, here's my question to you. What should St. John's do differently on the offensive end to find a bit of a groove?
Well, they're out of sorts because Lewis isn't. We got it. Thank you, referee coming in. They're out of sorts because Darby's not getting in the lane. Lewis is not the offensive weapon that we've been accustomed to. So maybe Edgerford, something to catch on the block.
6th time this season, St. John's been down double figures, but maybe one of the 5 best second-half teams in the country this year. Ruben Prey off the heel.
Good help.
Perkins is there.
How about all the white shirts, though? Is Wilshire okay? Slow getting up.
He is slow.
They got a number here.
Sure do.
One on the floor. Well, look at that open lane now, John. That's why they're able to get to the rim. Dixon outside here, drags a big guy. Nice help from the back, Kadari.
There were 3 in red then surrounding Dixon.
That's where you got to turn and kick, whether it's opposite or to the top. They do a great job of bodying you, so he takes away your legs.
And to Dixon, he's deep.
He got forced.
Yeah.
He gave up.
He did.
He walked the tightrope. Thought he could bait the official into a call.
That'll bring Buachi back in. You know what, though, Raf? You said it coming into this game. You said Villanova has to find a way, when you're playing St. John's, to match, if not find a way to exceed the effort level.
Well, you would expect your team to do it every night, but this is a little step up than most. I mean, they just never pack the tack. They're so aggressive by nature. It stems from the top, obviously.
Johnny's haven't scored in 4.5 minutes. Sadiko Ibin Ayo.
Yeah. Iona kid. Co-captain I was seeing, too.
He sure is. A great guy in their locker room, says Rick Pitino.
Nice find. See the closeout you attack? Nice look. Got to do more with it.
Buachi, the Fresno State transfer.
He took a lot of steps.
Yep.
Shuffle off the Buffalo or Cleveland.
That city rocks, you know.
That's what I was told. Your hometown.
Ibin Ayo connects. There's that shot.
He can make a couple. Gets that opportunity, takes advantage. His 5th of the year.
Yes, just his 5th. Think about this. The three-point shooting hasn't been the issue in this first half. They've hit 6 to Villanova's 4.
They haven't been able to really stop them at this end. They're very efficient by the catch.
10 on the shot clock. Oh, a foul on Wiltshire. Rick Pitino in disagreement.
They get Kadari or Wilshire. You got good eyes for a young guy.
Graf, I'm blind as a bat. I mean, let's be very clear on that. I need every bit of these. Fun one here on the main line. Villanova, upset-minded. Raph, there it is, the 1985 National Champs t-shirt. What do you remember about Rowley's team?
Oh, I remember sitting with Mike Tranghese watching that game in the stands. You know, couldn't root for anybody. You know, with John being on one side and Rowley on the other. And what a fantastic run that they had. The maestro, just an amazing guy. And in a sense, cultivated Jed. You know, to do a lot of things opposite of Rowley. Socially, anyhow, there he is.
In the house tonight, and there's Dick Weiss.
With Dick Weiss, Hoops.
Jay would always come into a press conference and say, Hoops is in the house.
Yeah.
The moment he saw Hoops.
Right. A tradition unlike no other, and it's not the Masters either.
Right. Speaking of maestros, Wooga Poplar.
Has he been solid? I saw his ability to turn the corner the last couple of games and finish at the rim, and he's got the range too to make some pull-ups. He makes great adjustments to use the rim to ward off, and stepping out, number 5 in your program, drilling it.
13 for him. Longino with 9, so a combined 22 for that duo. The rest of the team, the rest of the team includes the nation's leading scorer, Eric Dixon. Just has 5 points.
Well, they're not making mistakes or forcing the issue, I think. It's a compliment to the way they prep for this particular game. Share it, attack when you attack closeouts. And right there, what a monster difference. The ability, and it's mostly off the dribble.
Well, and in that first meeting, St. John's 39 free throws. How about just 2? With 3 minutes to go in the first half. They were even in points to the paint the first meeting. Villanova has been the aggressor at.
Are you suggesting it was unfair in the Garden?
Not at all.
I don't want to put you on the limb.
You are very speculative at times. I appreciate the bait. 8 on the shot clock. Dixon.
This is where you got to stay at home. Tough shot, good D, collective rebounding.
Ejiofor back in. They're big right now.
Yeah, Prey's done a good job on that end.
Here's Richmond with his game.
That's his game.
That is filthy.
Yeah, that is New York. Say goodbye. Some lingerie lingering there. He can put you in a bind. Head up, And he can pass out of this spin, too. What a great feel. Little English to finish the deal.
The right nickname in the New York parks that was developed in his youth, Cooks.
Because he fried a lot of people? Or burnt a lot of people, I guess. I guess you got to know him at Seton Hall, right?
Did. He hosted his own show. He called it Cook's Corner.
Look at this steal. They can get him in a hurry.
Just like that, you look up and Wiltshire tries a three. Short.
Look at that rebound, a foul. Yep. Poplar. Or they got Brickus. They got Poplar.
And that is Poplar's second. And that is a technical foul. Kyle Neptune was fired up, and he gets teed up.
Got it. Mike Nardi trying to calm him down over there. Ashley Howard, too.
Well, it's a big sequence, Raph.
It sure is.
This was just a 10-point game moments ago. Here it is.
Apparently just didn't like that particular. He was blocked out pretty good over there. But you understand the intensity of Kyle for a reason. You know? Just he knows how important this game is. You want every call. Even the Bananas are in concert.
That is some kind of student section theme.
It is.
They are into it.
They are. No Cheerios, just bananas.
So 7-0 for the Red Storm in just 68 seconds.
I tell you, you play for Rick Pitino, though. You better put your laces and tie them. You never know when you're going to get the call to win the game. He doesn't mind. He expects the same intensity and level of play from the last guy to the first.
In the first half that really Villanova's dictated, the Red Storm could get within one or tie it here with 7. Richmond kicks. Wiltshire. Long. Battle for the board, and it is off of the Cats.
Prey again in the mix there. Competing. You know, this is more St. John's now. You might call it unattractive, but it's just raising the level of involvement.
Look, Rick Pitino and his staff have said it. It ain't pretty, but it is rooted and gritty. That's what they are.
The results.
You can't argue with them.
Nice dribble hand. This is a nice play from the out of bounds. Ooh, he walked.
Ibinayo. And that's another foul. This one's on Buachi. Last one for Villanova to give of the half.
Yeah. But you collectively have to rebound. Can't give them second opportunities. And look how they've turned the cards here. They got on the inside and actually check out the defensive team.
A +6 rebounding margin on the year that sits in the top 30, but eighth in the country in rebounds per game. So they have a third look.
Nice string out.
Down to 10. 3 opportunities at a bucket here. In a scramble with 5. Ibinayo with 4. Ejiofor.
Gotta go.
Prey heaves. He's off. Another offensive rebound.
That's their game. Out scrap, out hustle. You're gonna match it.
This is a 4th opportunity at a shot. And with the technical foul, feels like the possession's gone for 3 minutes. Wiltshire kicks. Ejiofor. He's way off. Shot clock didn't reset.
Didn't hit anything.
And after all of that, Brickus has
nothing. Nice cross.
Oh, he put him on skates.
Pretty. Big guy at a disadvantage. Brickus always seems to be under control. Pretty play. Little ice on the floor.
Yes. Richmond swarmed by 2 Wildcats.
And Dixon did a good job in the back for the slip man. Nice hands there.
By Buachi. Here's Brickus showing his handle right now.
He's out of bounds, yeah. A little too much. Must have stepped on the line. Well, sometimes you can get embarrassed. Trying to help out, do the right thing. Right there, actually the discard more than the skates. Now that you look at it. But some good strength by the little guy.
Now Rick Pitino is going to bring in the freshman from Greece, Lefty Leotopoulos.
And he knew Nicky Galis, one of our Seton Hall grads, Hall of Famer, Player of the Year twice in Europe. His eyes were open. We said, really? Nick had a great career for us and worldwide.
Legendary.
And this young man can shoot the ball, by the way.
You got a 15-second difference between shot and game here.
NBA style, the 2-for-1.
Ibinayo to the corner, gets it right back. Ibinayo driving.
Nice look.
Leotopoulos, the man
go.
from Greece, connects Pitino with a fist bump.
Do you think he would bring him from Greece if he couldn't shoot?
Timeout, Villanova.
As you know, he coached there. I believe he went from 7th place to 2nd in like a month. Oh, goodness. Again, not the least bit afraid to put anybody in the game. Rick coaches them all. Early morning pays off. Big time drill.
He's played 10 guys in the first half. In the first half, Raph, that a lot hasn't gone their way. The irony of it is, the thing that has gone their way has been the Achilles heel all year. They've made 7 threes.
It's amazing, right? Very unusual. They can burn you, though. They can do it without scoring threes. They can do it with the middle game, or they can do it with their defense. And that shot was not from Thessalonica, but it was deep.
Have you been to Greece?
No, I haven't. Spirididis, who you know well, goes there quite a bit. He said, I have to go at some point. It's gorgeous.
Rick Pitino, he sure loved his time with Panathinaikos. Loved the crowds and just reinvigorating that fan base with that program. Just shows he could go anywhere on planet Earth.
I think your word reinvigorating was good for him, too. That reinvigorated his thirst to want to coach again. You know, after some setbacks and not doing the thing he loves the most.
He also enjoyed the beverages in Greece.
I would think so.
So now what's your thought process for Villanova here? You got
to go late, you know. Open middle, dribble drive. You got so many guys that can bounce it. And you also got a kick back to Dixon. Love to run a pick and pop for him, usually.
With 10, here's Longino to Brickus with 6. Poplar's been the hot man in this first half. Now it's down to 3.
Got to shoot it.
They didn't get into it till way too late, and Dixon is just short.
He was right on it, though. As you noted, Villanova played a solid half. St. John's just hangs around, even if they're not playing well. Not a match in the second half now, Villanova. Same form, get to the counter here once in a while with Dixon slipping into the low post. A really gorgeous find by Brickus here on the dribble drive. Sustaining it now, Villanova.
And you think about it, points in the paint. St. John's entered tonight with 38 to 39 points in the paint per game. That leads the Big East. They have just 4. Villanova has 14.
Numbers. It's crazy how it is. It turns out every game has its different personality. So now they lock low Edgefer. Nice pass and a back cut. Oh.
And there's the attack to the rim by Kadari Richmond.
Pretty.
And now a turnover on the inbounds to Wiltshire.
They're so dangerous and ready.
Lewis.
This is a timeout.
How about that for a start to the second half in 27 seconds?
Wow. The personality changes, the attitude, the outlook.
You think he had something to say in the locker room?
No question. Stirred the troops up.
And so it's a 15-2 extended run. shooting out of a cannon to begin the second half as Poplar glides in.
And right there, you saw Ejiofor's really distraught. They generally come from the weak side and stop that and help the defender on that dribble drive. Nobody at home.
Here is Lewis. He had 30 in the first meeting between these two teams. 1 of 6 tonight, though. He struggled.
And not getting to the free throw line at all.
In just 5 attempts. He got there 20 times in the first meeting. Oh, here he goes. R.J. Lewis.
Talking about a middle game, huh? Big time. Having a great year, too.
How about that draw on Friday night when they're up by 2 and need a put-away bucket, and he hits it from the baseline?
He's a confident kid, though. Top of his game. The upper echelon of player of the year, I think, with a couple of other guys. Called credit for one. Nice run out here.
Lewis.
Pretty play.
Buwachi with a denial.
Great hustle by the big guy. Quick addition. The ability to go without the basketball is so essential in the format of both of these teams. It's just a terrific read and not giving up on the play, keeping it alive as well. Watch. Sounds like a famous opera singer.
It does. You've had a tune in you or two. Perkins.
Just on the floor.
Smooth.
Good insertion. They'll need a little offense on the floor. He could develop some consistency as well coming down the stretch.
He was huge in the win over Xavier Sunday. 7 of 9 from the floor, 20 points. Aaron Scott, in and out. He had a hot first half, and Buwachi corrals.
Stayed with it. Ejiofor almost came up with it.
Brickett's got a step.
So good at circling the wagon.
Poplar, ring it up.
And finding.
18 for Poplar.
Brick is just under control.
Timeout Rick Pitino after that sharp start.
How about that? They looked awfully good the first 30, and all of a sudden the counterpunch here. The Cats alive, playing with a lot of confidence, making good judgments, and the Poplar move is to get him involved, where it's off the dribble drive. Perkins this time knocks the shot down, but number 5 has been something short of terrific.
Villanova with a response after St. John's fast start to the second half. And Villanova inside Veteran Pavilion already has 1 win over a number 9 ranked team in the country this year. Back on January the 8th, UConn came to town. Jameer Brickus with a big 3. Buwachi with a jam, and the Cats, they were helped by a couple of Alex Caravan misses at the free throw line. They found a way to win. Dixon with 15 of his 20 in the second half, and Villanova survived.
They're dangerous. I mean, no question about it. They've had some close encounters. Creighton comes to mind as well here, or downtown, I should say, with that bank shot. But they have been solid. Even that initial hit, no panic on the sideline. I thought Kyle might say, hey, let's get organized here. We made a couple of mistakes, get them back in it, playing with some confidence.
Look, the net is hovering around the top 50. The issue is those losses to Columbia and Virginia. Those are not tournament teams, obviously. Columbia, certainly not. And that was a rough loss early. They are without a quad 1 win. And at this time of year, now the one thing about their schedule, though, St. John's tonight, then at Providence next week. If you're ever going to put it together, you're at Connecticut and home to Marquette.
A pretty good run. You're playing top of your game. You get some opportunities.
You never know. On that journey to Madison Square Garden, the Big East tournament, you could also do it that way.
That's true. Connecticut did it years ago.
10 on the shot clock. Aaron Scott, corner tray.
Did it early. Goodness. Throw that into his defensive wizardry.
He's 4 of 8 from downtown.
Villanova's had a nice pace about themselves. Quick if it's there. Patient if it's not. They are taking away that right shoulder of Dixon in that low box area. He's going to run that counter.
6 on the shot clock. Dixon was doubled. Perkins.
Nice pass.
Unselfishness to Buwachi.
How about the pass that led to the pass, though? Dixon with the hockey assist.
That's what Kyle Neptune says about Dixon. He's matured with the doubles. R.J. Lewis. Rebound.
There you go. That's what you're going to match.
Poplar
Against St. John's.
Perkins took a dribble.
Wow.
Dixon.
Wow, that was deep. Good hustle. But Perkins passed up a good shot, too, didn't he?
He did. Well, you talk about tempo. They're bottom 20 in the country, but that's what coaches say makes them hard to play, because they're patient.
Absolutely. Nice step through. What a look.
Brickus to Buwachi. Back to Brickus. Couldn't get the bounce. Lewis lost it. Somehow kept it, though. Wiltshire. And Buwachi corrals.
They've been solid. Checking out. Seldom giving second opportunities.
What's at stake? St. John's has won 10 in a row. Nation's longest high major winning streak.
A little floppy set, countered with good D.
Dixon with 6.
Nice help. They are reading that beautifully. He's going to have to make quicker decisions. Who walked? Yeah.
It is by Richmond.
I think he saw somebody and then it was covered. Threw him off a little bit. But some good passing, some solid play by Villanova. A little step through, the extra look. Big time, ringing a bell. Buwachi, and this is what you got to do when you play the Johnnies. Leave it all out there.
This Sunday, the Great American Race takes center stage as NASCAR's top drivers battle in the biggest race of the year, the Daytona 500, where champions become legends. Sunday at 2:30 Eastern, only on Fox. A lot of fun. There's a live look at the track.
Have you ever done one of those? I've been at one, but have you
I've never gone to a NASCAR event. Overdue.
Well, step up, will you?
Well, I'm being told that you found something. Oh,
Wait a second. That's you as an 8th grader, I think.
I was a freshman in college.
Oh, my goodness.
That was 2014.
I still have that suit.
Well, one of us has aged well, and it's not me.
Yeah, that was a few steaks and mashed potatoes ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Don't forget the cream spinach.
I would say that was where? Downtown?
That was at the Garden, Big East tournament.
Okay.
And I mean, our good buddy of the Big East and Fox Sports and then CBS Sports, Rick Gentile, he walked up to me. I was doing a hit, and he said, "You want to talk to Bill Raftery?" And my jaw went to the floor.
Oh, boy. Your aspirations are limited.
Yeah, that's what Bill says.
Those Rick. Yeah, true. Rick meant so much to a lot of people, as you well know, and you in particular.
All right, a 2-point game. Enough of the 8th grader pictures.
Villanova has kept the game relatively clean. Nice drive again. This kid is so good. Doesn't finish, but magnificent in his approach to the rim.
Richmond skips it off to Wiltshire.
Edgever hasn't had a touch on the block. They try to get it to him. Should have been an extra pass to the other side, and he had his guy locked.
As quiet as we've seen Zuby Ejiofor in a game this year, he has not scored.
No.
Perkins, short,
Nice
Dixon.
rebound.
Eric Dixon.
Nice weak side, shield his man off.
This is right around the time on Sunday when Dixon started to get going.
Little zone look for the first time. Somewhat of a match. Nice hands.
Wooga Poplar. Poplar puts the place in the bananas.
Wow. All set up by extraordinary defense. The change of the look has puzzled St. John's.
Scott.
Silencer.
It was.
Great, Scott.
He has led the Red Storm with 15.
They don't go away. They can bank on the D. When they get offensive cooperation, they are an efficient team.
You can tell in this game we've hit the final third of conference play.
Yep.
Longino with 12. Poplar has been that man. Wooga has been Wooga-licious tonight.
How about his arrival? Got in the right spot to dominate. Terrific cut.
He has that look in his eye.
Nice hands by Brinkus hands.
Villanova has one top 10 win in this building. It came over Connecticut. Now trying to make another statement. This would be their biggest of the year. Dixon's foul.
He is so patient in that 3-second lane. They took away his favorite shoulder, but just hands, activity, both ends of the floor. He has been extraordinary. Arriving on the scene on a little handoff. This is the same play. Big time. Send it in. Not your own, but still effective.
By the way, with a name like Wooga, it just fits.
You better be a player.
That was Dixon's first free throw attempt. He is so accustomed to getting to the line. They are 5 of 5 from the stripe tonight. And Dixon on the year, 86% free throw shooter. That's
amazing.
The constant. They've been right at the top of the country in free throw shooting.
They've always been good, though. Won it a couple of times in a row. I think Wisconsin's in the lead this year, free throw percentage, if I'm not mistaken.
Vinayo back in. Here is Scott. You're right on Wisconsin. They're first. Richmond is fouled. Villanova 4th in the country. As Buachi will check back in now for Poplar.
He looks tired, doesn't he? Walking off there. You know, he had a wrap on yesterday, as you know, and he took it off today on his lower left leg. So he must have got banged there, bone on bone or something.
Aaron Scott again.
How about this kid?
They will look at that at the timeout. It was called a 2. At the next timeout, they'll determine if it was a 2 or a 3. It was called a 2.
Oh no, he's so good jumping and passing.
Scott! Aaron Scott, and now Dixon is down.
Well, they cross legs, I think, on the dunk. They'll telegraph that pass. Hopefully he's okay.
Oh boy. Sure hope so. Nation's leading scorer. We'll check in on him after this. Villanova up 3 on St. John's. This is a good sign, Raft. Eric Dixon is up and got a standing ovation after jogging off.
Pretty good hustle play by him. Fortunately, he's okay. We got the air knocked out of him. And here's a pretty good effort, really, by him. Just a faulty land at the end of this on his backside there. Some people have a better tush to incur that. No inference by me here. Ran off.
I didn't have that on my bingo card tonight. I'm just glad that Eric Dixon is okay because they need him if they're going to pull this off in the biggest way.
I mean, he is such a major contributor. We talked earlier about his leadership and his impact, his maturity. Obviously, the talent speaks for itself, and the numbers.
Well, those numbers, he's climbing up the Villanova scoring charts. What Eric Dixon is doing to lead the country in scoring.
I don't think he can catch Bob Schaefer here. I think Curry Kittles is next. I don't know if he can catch Curry. I know he can't catch Curry in a race with the speed.
Well, here's your top Villanova scorers. At 2,054, so he can catch Mr. Schaefer. Wow. Keith Aaron, Scotty Reynolds, Kerry Kittles. You know, Scotty Reynolds, as John Gaffney will come over. Nothing at all after that.
John Gaffney reporting that no flagrant.
We've got the Bananas on the move now in the building.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
They're now going to the...
They couldn't handle it.
Well, where are you heading?
They signed a loss.
Okay, they're off to... They're walking by us, Raph.
You're going for dinner, maybe.
Yeah. A lot of game left here.
You see the action now. This is more St. John's that even if they give something up here, they're just more tenacious and aggressive. And this is where you need patience. Show the ball on your passes. And on your drive, somebody's got to relocate.
7 on the shot clock. Brickus with 3. That is a long triple. He hit that from Lincoln Financial.
20th and Aldi. That's what LaSalle is.
That was deep. Back to 6. Into Ejiofor.
First time they post-fed properly. He could really do some damage, I think. This is long distance. Little jab step, stroke. A little late on the closeout. You're worried about the dribble.
For a guy who is a 47% three-point shooter, but's been quiet in the recent weeks.
I think he's just been running the show watching recent games. Not forcing the issue.
Richmond short.
That's not his game, as you know. Working on it.
Dixon back in.
How about that? Scott, a good defender. Pretty good discard by Dixon. Look at this pump and go.
And he'll go on the line for 2 more.
And that was all by Scott. Maybe gambling a little bit too much. Trying to deny him the ball. Got caught in the high side.
Dixon will go back to the line. 86% free throw shooter. Villanova, that win over Xavier on Sunday, things were hanging in the balance. Xavier right on the bubble.
Right.
They're in action against Providence later tonight in this league. And you just felt like, okay, either Villanova's going to figure something out, or if they lose this game, this is where things can go the other way. The big difference between 7-6 in the league and 6-7.
Well, you're right, no question about it. But I don't think things go the other way. You're playing a great team, and you happen to lose, you get a chance the next day or next game, that kind of thing. But this is a monster, I think, for them.
Oh, what it could mean for this team.
First, right? Quad 1.
It would be. And you're talking about a team that's 21-3.
Zone look, excuse me, John. Good kick.
Wiltshire against that zone is off.
How about the check out right there, Mosley? They like him. I think he's going to bring something to the table.
Josiah Mosley, the freshman.
He plays hard. Pretty good handle.
Dixon to Perkins.
Kick.
Tyler Perkins bring it up.
All Dixon. Collapse the D and find. Great preparation.
Loudon here again. This is vintage Finneran Pavilion.
Ejiofor really ducked in. They didn't get it to him. Kawachi doing a great job circling.
Richmond with 5. Takes a dribble and connects.
That's his game. So comfortable to step inside that line.
How many players would you say that about? They take a 3 with no dribble. That's not his game. Then he does that. That's exactly his game.
Well, most guys are not really good.
Oh, there
nice
he is
hands.
with the active hands, and he got fouled. That is Kadari Richmond.
Right, and that is St. John's basketball right there. Comfortable behind. Comfortable because they know they can attack and be aggressive. This is really pretty, I think. Everybody looks to help, and you've got to make them pay for that overhelp. Good distribution, southpaw stroke. UP to Villanova, and this is his game, that middle.
Just when it was at 11, a bucket by Richmond, a turnover, and now they've got it right back. Richmond playing some bully ball, and he got fouled. They'll go back to the line for a pair.
Well, he is strong, isn't he, at that rim? Buachi, I think, gets a piece of him. But he can discard people legally. Some presence off the bounce.
Now, this has been an issue this season. 51% from the free throw line. We talked a while with Rick Pitino today, and he said, Kadari is awesome in all the individual development sessions. A joy to work with him. Rick brought it up to you last week. He said, look, when we got him, he was extremely well coached at his previous spot, Seton Hall.
And he was. But now he's consistent. It's every play. Not giving any time off. And right again now, dead ball situation. Very tough. You got to cut quickly, distinctly, and be a presence.
All that effort. Rick
Perkins has got to get in the flow here. He's way. They usually screen for him. They do with Dixon here.
That's a bad pass.
Look at this with Dixon.
Edge of 4 won it. Edge of 4 to Lewis. Foul. That's a hard foul.
You know, I think they're going to get Buachi, but I think Perkins got him. I think the block was clean. They're going to take a look at it too, as they will anytime it's a head or shoulder. Oh yeah, his hands got on him. This could be a flagrant.
That was a collision.
Yeah, this could be a flagrant.
That looks excessive. And
Previous
put
plays
his
being
arms
under
around
review.
him, right? Not a basketball play.
Wow.
Which is to the T of when they're looking at a flagrant foul, excessive, not basketball play. You think about it, Raph, there's 2 things that come to mind in this game. One was when St. John's was down by 10, the technical foul, we had a long stoppage, and all of a sudden you looked up, it was down to 2. Now all of a sudden, just when it looked like Villanova was up double digits, could have a flagrant, you could have the ball again, and it's right back to the game.
St. John's can put misery aside. You know, dull moments, not aggressive, not scoring, not doing a lot of things well. But it's their relentless approach. The mental aspect of their game is just a high level that you cannot relax.
Again, our officiating crew, John Gaffney, Paul Sell, Craig Evans. There are the Bananas. They were relocated from one side of the student section. So, someone said something. Things weren't working out for them. They're allowed to stay in the building, but they had to relocate. Security told them they had to split.
The previous foul on 13 has been upgraded to a flagrant 1 foul.
Thank you.
The explanation? A flagrant.
Flagrant. No argument by anybody on that.
So after all that, Lewis will go in the line for 2 free throws, and then you think about it, you could have a 59-54 game moments after Villanova was up by 11.
Can't relax, obviously. Poise against this red-shirted team, essential. Usually pretty consistent at 74%.
One of 2 here. And this is where they're so good on these baseline out-of-bounds sets.
And they run this box set now. They read it. Here's a little curl and then a bump. Pretty.
To Aaron Scott, who continues a big night.
And they don't cover it well. And we both saw them talking about it this afternoon.
8-0 run in 35 seconds. Scott matches his season high with 5 threes.
And look at how aggressive they are now. You can make them pay with a good look.
Longino, short. And just like that, they can get within 1 or tie it.
See the press work. As you miss the shot, look at this.
Scott to the deck. They've got numbers.
Look at this pass. Smart play. You didn't have it.
Scott. Long. Richmond tapped it to Lewis.
How about that play?
The Johnnies never stop.
What an assist. That is impressive. Richmond. They got a foul
on Wilcher.
Just didn't get over the top to deny it, but they race you. They get in your head. The frenzy, the approach, the never give up mantra of this team, and that's just a great set play. Nice pin by Ejiofor. And getting the puppies organized. Number 0, drilling it big time.
How's
this
sound?
Great tip.
10-0 run in 71 seconds.
They don't go away. Utterly amazing.
Down to 1, a battle in the Big East. St. John's trying to keep the nation's longest time major winning streak going. Villanova looking for a top 10 upset on the main line. Big East basketball is sponsored by Jeep. There's only one on Banana Night at Veteran Pavilion. We got a 1-point game. 8 and change left. This is the best performance by Aaron Scott in St. John's Red.
And you know what he does on that defensive end, but this is extraordinary. Great confidence, great feel, and great finds too. Kicking that ball opposite, and I just love his length. Getting in that passing lane, denying. Here's a little bump by Ejiofor. Gets him that open look, and just a tardy cover too. I mean, you got to be ready if you're Villanova. You've gone through those out of bounds.
And Aaron Scott, who Rick Pitino has told Aaron, keep shooting. Last 3 games combined 20 points. Tonight, 22.
Confident kid. Took that early 3 against Connecticut, I think. Just terrific offensive rebounding. Look at this pressure. This is a hard inbound right now. The way they attack lanes.
In a tough angle now, Raph.
That's what I meant. They're like, you can really jump it now.
This is changing the game. Really tough to Brickus.
Take the ball out of bounds on the first free guy you got to give the ball.
Brickus to Dixon. When will they time up that double with single man?
Tough shot. Forced him. He's not anything. He's got to do a little more bully ball. Keep the dribble going a little bit more so he can extricate, find some lane touch.
He's done the job defensively. Zuby Ejiofor has not scored.
Look at this matchup here in terms of vision.
Oh, Wilcher was looking that way.
Yeah, Scott can elevate if he gets it.
With 6.
Ooh.
Richmond with a nasty crossover. Ejiofor with his first basket. And the Red Storm.
Trouble getting it in again. Like the poke away. His own man tripped him though.
He did. Lewis did.
Nice hesitation. Thought they could have got more out of that. Ooh, nice. Ooh, they got a hold, I guess. Pretty good reaching. Dari almost came clean. Right here, getting into the lane, just at will. The follow, obviously, you mentioned Ejiofor's first deuce, but it's not from his lack of shaping up in that lane. Dari doing what he does best.
We had a scoring error at the table that now the officials are going to. That's why when you heard me say Red Storm, the score was still 59-58. I thought that they took the lead, and now they're going to clarify that, but it should be 60-59.
They have it on the board. Rick went over to the score. They had a little dialogue going, a little smile.
Yeah, but if you're the scorer there and you see him start to walk your way.
But it was a lady. He was a gentleman.
Back up by 1 now. How about this, Raph? Villanova led by 11 2.5 minutes ago.
It doesn't take much. Electrifying, the speed that they react and respond. I mean, this is hard work daily that exhibits itself in a game. The no trip off mantra is what they have. And conversely, you have to certainly meet it.
Let's go big picture. Mike DeCourcy, here's what he's got in his bracket projections every Tuesday and Friday on Fox Sports platforms. Johnny's up to the 3 line. You see Villanova right now would be a Crown invitee, and we look forward to the 16 non-tournament teams in the Crown, including the top 2 non-tournament teams from the Big East, Big 12 and Big 10, March 31st to April 6th on Fox and FS1.
More people are talking about that, too, as another opportunity. Give kids another chance, another game or 2.
Looks like they got things sorted out, and it is, in fact, 60-59 Red Storm. So you were up 11. Now you've given up a lead. If you're Villanova in this predicament, what do you have to do to find a way in this game?
They haven't really done a good job with Dixon in the low post, so maybe move him out a little bit, get back to driving it and being creative. Get Poplar on the roll, Longino on the roll a little bit. And Brickus is one of those guys, too, that keeps the dribble alive and does find some people as he gets under the rim.
Poplar's had the big night with 22 points. Here's Dixon. Edge of 4 on him. Dixon spins. He's off.
Yeah, it hasn't been working. Edge strong, though, holding him off. That is a big individual.
He is a tank.
And there's Edgefer again, begging. Not getting it. Look at this.
Look what Lewis found. Hammer time.
They take advantage of a miscue.
And just like that, from down 11 to up 3, a 14-0 run. Incredible. Dixon again on an island.
They may run a double of him.
They didn't. Dixon will go in the line for 2.
Yeah, he looks gassed a little bit. Those bodies banging him as he bounces. But nobody cutting, nobody alive on the perimeter either. And it's just misfortune when you don't squeeze it. Opportunistic St. John's. Lewis Jr.
Dixon, 3 of 12 from the floor, and it is normally RJ time. Mr. Clutch for the Red Storm. Late in games. And 0 for 1 on this trip for Dixon. He's an 86% free throw shooter.
I think he's been working hard. Fatigue is part of that, too.
3 of 12 from the floor, 1 of 6 from 3.
Well, you know the prep was going to be all about him, how they defend him.
Down to 2. 6 minutes to go.
You want to keep Kadari out of the lane. Wiltshire this time. We know he can shoot it. Oh, everything but a little floater.
Rachi with the board. And Raph, that second free throw going in, it allowed Villanova to set things back up in the half court.
Absolutely. I'm thinking the other end, no Smith either for that dribble drive. Takes away another weapon.
That's right. Davon Smith out with a neck injury. Longino with 5. Longino with a tough shot. We're tied.
How about that? Held his ground. Really patient.
11 for Longino.
Slap back.
Aaron Scott is short. And it will stay with the Red Storm.
Yeah, they dodged one there. A nice setup. Well, so many kids have this shot now, don't they? Braden Smith from Purdue, another one that does that beautifully.
Sure does.
Dirk
whistle.
They got Kadari maybe, and I got another one inside.
It is Richmond.
Yep.
That's his 3rd.
They are going after it, though. Every trip, more aggressive, overzealous, and you need poise. Brickus has not been able to get free on this little screen for him. He sprints.
Even though it was a foul, it allowed them to set this up.
Yep, exactly. And they locked the passer in a spot.
You could tell. You'd be tired too trying to battle through this.
No question. It takes a lot of stamina to compete.
Just another night in the Big East.
I like this change here, a little pick and roll. Instead of sticking him on that box.
Dixon to Buachi. Buachi with the four. He's lost. Gets it to Dixon. That's a prayer. It's long. One Villanova is on the weak side. Dixon, the nation's leading scorer, shoots it down.
How about the find by Poplar after the kick out? Zone look now. Be careful of offensive rebounding.
Wiltshire, long, tipped. It stays with St. John's.
And then we got Wiltshire hurt at half court here.
He is limping.
Got a problem with his foot. Trying to shake it off.
Wonder what happened here on the shot, if he got stepped on or just twisted. And he cannot put any weight.
No.
Look at this. Leotopoulos has checked into the game.
As noted before, you put the sneakers on, you're liable to get a call. Trying to get the coaches back in their spots. A little warning.
So a fresh 20 here for the Red Storm.
Nice follow here. Better defense.
Richmond, tough pull up.
Unbelievable.
Drilled it.
It's amazing. He has an air about him in the scoring area. Beyond most.
1 point game. A 10-game winning streak hangs in the balance. The top team in this league, the Johnnies. A little bit more of a lead last night when Creighton went down to UConn. 5 on the shot clock. Brickus, Dixon with 3. Dixon! Oh! It's Eric Dixon!
Wow! What a dagger delivery!
He is a bad man!
Nice roll.
Ejiofor was fouled.
Yep, on the catch.
Last Villanova foul to give. We got a timeout and wrap. The top scorer in all of America has come alive in money time.
He was quiet, not so now. Nice look. Wooga with the money, the nylon by the southpaw, number 43 in your program. Lighten it up.
Villanova up by 4, looking for a top 10 win, which would be their second of the season. Some foul trouble to get to here. Wooga Poplar, the leading scorer for Villanova tonight with 22. He's the lone man with 4. Scott Richmond, Buachi each with 3, but that's something to monitor now for Poplar. He's got to be careful.
And what's interesting, Dixon getting a little blow. He must be exhausted. To have him out now, it might be just 1 or 2 trips at worst.
Look, Kraft, he might be huffing and puffing, but he is clutch.
He is. He's crunch time, stepping up, making big shots on kickouts, the extra passes on occasion. He is a load. And how do you match up with him? He's got the ability to drag a big out there who's uncomfortable guarding. This is just extraordinary. A little step back jack. They got him away from the post-up, which was really limiting his play.
By the Numbers is sponsored by Robin Hood Gold. The new gold standard is here. On Sunday against Xavier, he had 2 points at the half. With 12 minutes to go in the game, he still only had 2 points. Then he scored 22 in the ensuing 8 minutes. He's just hit 2 threes in the last 60 seconds. He started 1 of 6 from downtown on this night.
He knows he can take a bundle of shots. I mean, he's the guy they're going to go to. So he has the confidence, even if he isn't stroking it well. Poplar did a nice job getting him the ball, too. He's getting a blow right now with those aforementioned fouls.
Meanwhile, for St. John's, Simeon Wilcher came off the floor with an ankle or foot injury, came back out, but he remains out of this game. So lefty Leotopoulos, who made a 3 in the first half, remains in with Scott, Lewis, Ejiofor, and Richmond.
A nice little play for the lob and the step out.
They got it to Lewis.
Well
automatic.
Boy, they run some great out-of-bounds plays. A lot of creativity and imagination.
It won them the game in Stores. And now the press.
Gotta go.
Oh, you do not have time on your side. They might have to take a timeout. That is a baseball pass to Dixon. He couldn't hit Buachi with the rebound.
Oh, my goodness. Why did he go up and jam it? He was wide open, too. Dixon just didn't trust him with the pass.
That would have been wild. They were going nowhere.
No. Great find.
Longino with 4.
Good.
Took the contact.
And that's a Jay Wright-ism right there. Attack the defender when he's up in the air.
4th foul on Richmond. So now Kadari Richmond in foul trouble. Both teams are in the bonus from here. Both teams have 2 timeouts. The possession arrow is with Villanova as we reset.
And Kyle's done a great job prepping them for this game. Wilcher back in. He's still grimacing, shaking it off. It's like you after a bad night.
82% free throw shooter is Longino. He hits both. It's back to 4.
Wilcher and Brickus are having a conversation going back. Both were smiling.
Conference play, only 2 minutes to go in a pivotal game.
Yeah, there's that little flare off the horns look. Bad matchup for Buachi right here. He doesn't cover Scott.
And Aaron Scott is sure. Ejiofor couldn't corral. In a battle with Brickus. Brickus somehow wins it for Villanova.
Got a wing.
Lost it.
Oh, too much dribble. Got away with it.
On the edge. And after all that, John Gaffney will converge. And what will the call be? St. John's, well, they're going to review it. Inside 2 minutes to go.
Well, at the end, he may have been out, but had he released the ball is the key. It's a terrific effort by both teams.
Let's
Talk
see
about
here.
matching the enthusiasm.
It's impossible to see there from that angle.
Previous plays under review.
They did not make a ruling.
Well, they have to make a call.
It was St. John's ball was the determination. We just got that clarification.
Yeah, you got to make a call to go look.
Their call is that Brickus was out of bounds there.
I would agree with it.
I'm with you on this. It's not going to be from there.
It's interesting watching St. John's, though, John, where they make you get down and dirty.
Yep.
I mean, it's like they'll bring the most out of you and find out what you're made of.
Just how they play. It's how they've won 10 in a row to get to 21-3 on the season. But now you've got $1:58 to go. You're down by 4, and it looks like it's going to be St. John's basketball. John Gaffney, Paul Selk, Greg Evans, our crew. Again, each team with 2 timeouts. They both just got a free one. This is what they're looking at here. This looks like it may graze fingertips. It's tough.
Brickus just got in a little too deep with the dribble. And caused this little chaos at the end.
This is taking a while.
They probably haven't seen an angle they could change it, so they may have to stay with it.
Got to be indisputable. Well, think about it. Because of that sequence, we got inside 2 minutes. Could have easily been 2:02 on the clock, 2:03. All right, here we go. Oh, they're going to bring in the third to take a look at it.
The jury, not an adjournment, but a little get-together.
1:58 left, Raf. Both teams with 2 timeouts, both in the bonus. Villanova has the possession arrow. So assuming it is St. John's basketball, and that if it's taken this long, they can't come to another conclusion. If you're St. John's here, you've got more than enough time with a $1:58.
Oh, yeah.
You get downhill.
Plenty of time, no question about it. They haven't really driven the ball as much. It's been more of a kick, get it to the post and reverse it, or the double horn set out top. So you might see, for that reason, Richmond go to school a little bit here.
And they haven't given Ejiofor, they haven't been able to get him the ball.
And he's in there begging pretty good a lot of time, but the timing's been a little bit off too.
After review,
the ankle.
Ball on the baseline. Ball's reversed.
Wow! The call is changed. It's Villanova ball.
Big reversal.
Take a look at the Big East standings on your screen with St. John's at 12-1. Villanova at 7-6, but it is Villanova ball with 21 on the shot clock. That is huge.
They must have said that Brickus was inbounds when he touched it.
Yep.
Right?
And then that ball never hit Buachi's hand.
Right.
Wow. You think it takes that long to see a sequence. Maybe it's indisputable, but in this case, they came to a conclusion.
Well, sometimes there's an angle that we don't see that they get.
So now with a 4-point lead, Villanova has a golden opportunity.
And they're going to ride the big guy.
Poplar is off. In there with 4 fouls, so is Richmond.
You got to keep him out of the lane. Looks like they're going to do a little matchup here. He can take Dixon, I think, and find somebody.
Joe Wilcher. Off to Scott, who's had the big night. With 12, it's Richmond.
He's going to go.
Ejiofor went down. Richmond does go and one. It's Cook's time.
How tough was that? That is just physical. The presence. And really take the hit and then kiss that baby. Right here, he is the master of the 3-second lane and goes left as well. Whew. Wow, what a release.
That is New York City hoops type of finish right there. A battle on the rebound as Richmond couldn't hit. 2-point game, 1:20 to go.
They're going to call timeout, I think.
And he gets it. He's got 1 left. Second to last, got the TO, and he got 19 on the shot clock. Both teams in the bonus. Possession arrow with Villanova, but they have 1 timeout. St. John's with a pair.
And they were looking like Dixon was going to do the ball screen out there. I don't like him in the low post immediately. Get some action outside. Let him roll. He's a good passer, a willing passer.
You wonder here where they go. And the other thing is that they've done from time to time with guys like a Perkins or a Longino.
Right. Well, Longino's good at
decoy options.
Well, the two of them can bounce the ball pretty good, I think. You know, Brickus and Longino, to be creative. It might be something they'll use on the perimeter. You're going to get a good look. Like Poplar got a good look. He just didn't make it. It was a kick out. As if you can collapse it with the bounce and just make sure you get yourself available.
Meeting number 133 between these two teams.
They're even, right?
66 apiece.
Wow.
How crazy is that?
That is shades of Louie and Roley, right?
You have stories about that.
I used to say the two of them wouldn't mind winning 2-1. You know, just don't take any bad shots. Don't turn it over.
All right, let's see what they do here.
Wilshire's got to do a good job on Brickus because he's going to ignite things here.
If there's any foul on the floor, both teams in the single bonus, so it's 1-1. 10 on the shot clock.
They're overloading totally. They got to come left with it.
It's down to 6.
Let it go.
You're at 4 now. Dixon with 2. Eric Dixon. He's off.
Look at the
rebound by Perkins.
What hustle.
You know what? The Villanova staff told us today, Perkins does little things in a game.
And that's one of them.
8 on the shot clock. Villanova looking for a dagger, and Dixon is fouled. It'll be a 1-and-1.
Didn't give ground, put the hands in there to a great free throw shooter. Anybody in those 80s, and who better to get a chance? And this is when you stick your hands in there instead of moving the legs. Right here. I mean, that's like an easy call for a referee. You got to give ground and put that hand up to challenge the shot.
86% free throw shooter. It is a 1-and-1.
John's 2 timeouts, 2 to play with.
He missed it.
Wow.
Rebound to Lewis. They've got 2 timeouts. What will Rick Pitino do here?
Looks like he's running it.
Wilcher, Simeon Wilcher, big time!
Wow. Whew. How about that?
Timeout, St. John's.
Terrific cut, great presentation. And this is the guy I think that could light it up. He's going to have a terrific career. Occasionally early in the year, the struggles, but look how he uses those screens to get himself free. What a great call from the bench. A double and the ability to get those puppies organized. Wow. Talk about a big-time delivery. Whew. Some early onions with that one.
Woo. Put the oil in the pan for Wilcher. That was something else. And how about the fact they didn't call the TO?
That's confidence. So, and it was right in front of their bench, so you could make the audible call. And it was just a terrific execution. And again, Wilcher wisely just turns that corner and gets them organized.
For St. John's, it's their best three-point shooting performance in terms of made in conference play now with 11. But they came in at averaging just over 5 made per game. The other side of it is they've taken 36. That is by far their most taken in a game this season.
I think positive thinking, positive reinforcement, and a lot of practice. At some point, if you've got these in strokes, you're going to start making them. Now the key is who's going to ignite the offense and who's going to be the beneficiary. I would love to see Poplar maybe on a wing drive and then Dixon popping a little bit.
So 27.9, quick game reset, each team with a timeout, both teams in the bonus, single bonus, and possession arrows with Villanova, and here's that press.
The first thing is you got to get free and run through the ball. First free man's got to get a touch.
Ricketts got it, up to Perkins. Tyler Perkins, a near turnover, and Longino hangs on. It's down to 17. Villanova has a timeout if they want to stop things again. Down to 12, Poplar.
Oh, should have taken it.
Perkins! Right in time!
Woo! A retaliatory against. Timeout with 8 left. How about that? You had just mentioned he does the little things. He just did a big thing. A monster thing. I thought Brinker should have taken it, but he had confidence in that left-hand delivery from Penn, where he averaged 13 points as a freshman.
That was Philly clutch bananas at the fin. 8.7 to go. So now the question is, if you're Rick Pitino, are you going for the tie or are you going for a road win?
I think you go for the first available shot to the rim, and you may end up with a 3. I mean, if you miss the 3, the game may be over. So I would like some sort of penetration. Usually Gadari gets the ball back. And don't forget, you got Wilcher as his running mate. So if you overhelp, oversniff, they're going to end up kicking it to him.
You know what else comes to mind here? What Kyle Neptune told us. We got it boxed out.
Oh, yeah, no question. End of the game here. That's the key. It's usually the second shot.
Well, Kadari Richmond has turned it on in money time.
That drive earlier, this is a terrific finish by him, but that one he went left and made the hook. Just shows you the moxie this kid has, and his effort sort of personifies or typifies this St. John's team. And this is the play that I just thought was extraordinary. The English to finish that going to his less than dominant hand.
Again, each team with a timeout. Each team in the single bonus. So if Villanova were to commit any foul on a non-shot, it'd be a 1-on-1. Possession arrow on a tie-up belongs to Villanova.
They got
9 seconds now.
Now the big thing is you got to contain the dribble drive if you're Villanova on either Wilshire or Kadari. The other thing is Scott is wise. You start to sniff a little bit, he can be creative and get an open look for a three.
A 10-game winning streak hangs in the balance. Creighton, as well as Marquette, they'd like to see St. John's lose in that regular season title race. And for Villanova, this would create separation at 8-6 in that top 5. What a massive 9 seconds here. Here we go. Scott will be the inbounder. To Richmond with 8. Kadari Richmond, the Brooklyn boy, with 5. Richmond with 3. Wilshire for the win! Number 9 goes down on the main line. Nova knocks off St. John's.
Feels like the old days here, doesn't it? The Finn magic prevails. They got a good look. Nice side.